Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Yaqut Zaman and welcome to this video. If you guys are not familiar with my channel, check out my channel. It's Roots of Knowledge. If you can see that, it's my channel, ROK, Roots of Knowledge. Check out my social media. And the course is on uruk.com. Right, so this series is basically one about the Arabic grammar, and more specifically it's called Sarf. We focus on how verbs are conjugated, how you kind of like twist them around, manipulate them, and how to gain like the meanings from them. So what I want to go over today with you guys is a continuation of what we did last time. So if you remember, we actually talked about this, right? So we talked about the idea of the wa'ada ya'idu, right? So wa'ada, right? There's no real change in there, but there was change in the present verb. And the rule that we came out with was that any mithal verb which is thulathi mujarrad has a kasra on the ayn, then you have to remove the waw. So we can actually write this down on our sheet. So this is the rules for ajwaf. And this is the rules for mithal. Okay, so we can say remove the waw in the present if it's thulathi mujarrad and the ayn kasra in Arabic. The ayn is a kasra. And we said there are some exemptions to this though. Right, and I mentioned this to you guys. There are some exemptions. So that's the rule basically. If we just kind of like just have a little skim of this. These are the mujarrad ones, okay, thulathi mujarrad. So you got on the daraba pattern, the fatha pattern, the hasiba pattern, sami'a pattern, karwan pattern, and nasara, there's nothing really. So daraba wa'ada ya'idu. Notice the waw's dropped there. Not in any of these. Right, so yassara yasiru, yana'a yana'u, yabisa yabasu, yamuna yamunu. So there's no real change over there. Over here, however, wa'ada ya'idu, wada'a yada'u, yada'u, supposed to be yawda'u, warima yarimu. Right, so wajila yawjalu, wasuma yawsum. Now these don't change because the rule was that the ayn has to have a kasra. So you're asking, why is this changed? So we mentioned last time, if you remember, that this is an exemption to the rules. There are some exemptions that we kind of like don't really know 100% why this kind of happens, but it just does happen, right? Some say that, I don't know, on the ayn or the lam, if there's a huruf halqi, you get rid of it. But there's nothing that kind of solid that people kind of can put their finger on. All right, that's that. And then if you remember, I said to you that the verbs, the mazid ones, there's no real change in there, right? So wa'ada yuwa'idu, wa'ada yuwa'idu, aw'ada yu'idu, tawa'ada yatawa'adu, and tawa'ada yatawa'adu. Now there is one where there is a change, and we're going to be looking at that one today. And that basically is taqada. Okay, so we are going to be looking at taqada, right? So taqada, yawtaqidu, yawtaqidu. This is actually something we're going to see a change in, okay? So here is where you do have a particular type of change over here. Let me just fix this light so you guys can see more. Just put this on. All right. So hopefully you guys should be able to see that. It should be clear. Right. So i'taqada yawtaqidu. Right. This is actually gonna become, if I use a different pen, ittaqada. Ittaqada yattaqidu. Yattaqidu. Right, so there, in fact, there is a ta change over there. A ta has actually changed over there. So, alright, so that's what we're going to be covering today, inshallah. And we'll be looking at some verses of the Quran. And then basically, Mithal verbs have actually finished, really. I mean, some people have talked about certain verbs because they're very rare. I'm not really going to touch upon them in this series. I don't think they're very important. Unless right at the end, if maybe we have time in the series, maybe I'll just do some miscellaneous ones. But these are the main ones that you're going to find in the Quran. And, you know, it's just something which I thought, you know, I'll mention to you guys. Okay. So let's put all these to the side and let's start off with this over here. Right, so we have our i'taqadna. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so you got i'taqada. i'taqada. If ti'al, this is okay. If ti'al. And mithal, let's put mithal there. i'taqada, i'taqada, i'taqadu. i'taqada, i'taqada, i'taqadu, i'taqadat, and then so forth. Okay, so i'taqada, i'taqada, i'taqadu. I'm not going to write all of them. Actually, I will write all of them. I'm going to give in to you guys. i'taqadata, i'taqadna, i'taqadta, i'taqadtuma, i'taqadtum, i'taqadti, i'taqadtuma. You probably want to forward this part, listen to my voice. i'taqadat, this is a tongue twister. This is if you guys can read this all faster than me, then put in the comments, man. i'taqadti, i'taqadtuma, i'taqadtunna, i'taqadtu, i'taqadna. Now you see, when we're pronouncing these, right, it's difficult, isn't it? That's why you can tell that some change has taken place. i'taqada, i'taqada, i'taqadu, i'taqadat, i'taqadata, i'taqadna, i'taqadta, i'taqadtuma, i'taqadtum, i'taqadti, i'taqadtuma, i'taqadtunna, i'taqadtu, i'taqadna. Difficult, isn't it? So we know some sort of a change is going to take place over here. So just draw a line over there. So what is this going to become? So the rule basically over here is, all right, so i'taqada, what happens is this is going to become it. The waw is going to be transformed into a ta. I'taqada. I'taqada. So notice what happens over here. I'taqada. This has transformed. So the rule, if I was to write the rule over here, I'm going to write it in the red, thick, so you guys can see it nicely. So if a waw or ya appears in the fa of ifti'al, then change to ta. Okay. Now this only applies to if this waw or ya, they say, has not changed from hamza. Inshallah, when we do the mahmuz rules, mahmuz is another type which I haven't discussed, is where you have a hamza I'm going to explain to you something called the ittikhaz rule. Ittikhaz, right? So over there, I'll explain that in a bit more detail. But over here, right, you're going to, if in the ifti'al pattern, the fa kalima is a waw, which in this case it is, as you can see, waw over here. So there, or there, or there, and so forth. Okay. Then you have to change into a ta. Now, once you change into a ta, the rule is when you have two tas right next to each other, you got to merge them together. So you join these two tas together, and what does it become? It becomes ittaqada. Ittaqada, right? So ittaqada. Ittaqada. You merge them together. Right, so that could be another rule if you want, or you could just understand it that if you have two of the same letters together, then you're gonna push them together or merge them, and it's just gonna become ittaqada becomes ittaqada, and then ittaqada, join them together, ittaqada, and that's it. The same goes for all of these as well, exactly in the same way. Ittaqada, ittaqada, ittaqadu, ittaqadat, ittaqadata, ittaqadna. اتقدت اتقدتما اتقدتم اتقدتي اتقدتما اتقدتن اتقدت اتقدنا. How easy that is. This is with the root letters waw, qaf, dal. Okay, waqada. That's the original waqada, the huruf asliya. And if this was with ya, then you're gonna have the same thing as well, right? The same thing. So if we were to do, let's say, a ya one, then let's just make a line going down there. So let's say we had the same for a ya one. What can we use for ya? Let's say, okay, itasara. Itasara. Notice there's a ya there. Yes, sir. Right? Same thing's going to happen over here. All the way down. Itasara, itasara, all the way through. We're going to change this. And what are we going to change it to? We are going to change it to the same. Ya is going to be converted into a ta. Okay, so this ya over here, we're going to pronounce it as tasara. Tasara. All right. And the same rule as before is going to apply here. All right, which is if you have a ya in the position of the fa in the ifti'al, you must change it into a ta, and then you merge the two tas together, and you get tasara. Okay, ittasara. 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 Supposed to be a ta there. Ittasara. Okay, so iwtaqada becomes ittaqada. Ittasara becomes ittasara. And the same thing goes down for the bottom as well. So ittasara, ittasara, ittasaru, ittasarat, ittasarata, ittasarna, ittasarta, ittasartuma, ittasartum, ittasarti, ittasartuma, ittasartuna, ittasartu, ittasarna. And there you have it. That's basically your list, and that is the rules that you will need for this. Now, there isn't really any other ta'leel that exists for the rest of the mazids. There are some rare ones, but we're not going to really do those. This is the only real one. Mudari as well. Let's do the mudari is the same principle that you follow in the mudari. So let's say, for example, in the mudari, what do we have? So iwtaqada yawtaqidu. So if you had the same over here, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right, you had the same over here. Yawtaqidu. Yawtaqidu. Yawtaqidu, yawtaqidani, yawtaqiduna, and so forth. Yawtaqidani. I'm not going to do all of them. This time I'm not going to do for you guys. I'm not going to fall for your trick and get me to do all of them. Okay, let's make a line there going down. Yawtaqiduna. And then what happens over here? Same thing that we said before. Oops, got smudged there. So same thing that as before. What's going to happen over here? So the wow will actually be changed for a ta, and it's going to become yattaqidu. Just make it quick and short. Yattaqidu. Okay, yattaqidu. Notice the wow transform for a ta, and now yattaqidu. يتقدان يتقدون تتقدو تتقدان يتقدن تتقدو تتقدان تتقدون تتقدين تتقدان يتتقدن أتقدن أتقدو. Tongue twister or what? So let me know in the comments if you guys can read that like I read it or faster than me. Alright, so that's the rule over there. And then we have, so this is Mithal, Ifti'al, Mudari', present. Okay, and we can have the same for yaytasiru. Right, so if we had, let's say, put line in there, yaytasiru. So yaytasiru. Yaytasiru, same thing over here. The ya is going to be transformed into ta, and then join them both together. Yattasiru. Yattasiru. Yattasiru, yattasirani, yattasiruna. Tattasiru, tattasirani, yattasirna. Tattasiru, tattasirani, tattasirna. Attasiru, nattasiru. Yeah. So that's basically the list for that. Right. Now, once we've done all of this, right, once we have understood this properly, now we can go back to this and say, right, so now we've covered all of these. The only real mithal which actually had to be changed was the mithal, the mazid, this one. And in the ya, the same thing for this one over here. Right, and that's it. That's done then. Right, so it's like, okay, so we've got all of this done, all of that done. And mithal is all actually solved. So no real. Now there is, for example, like the isms. They do deal with the isms and the changing of the isms. That's something which I'm not going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about maybe later on in the series. But for now, I am just going to be dealing with verbs, purely verbs, just so that you guys get the understanding how verbs work. So I want to show you guys an app, right? And this app basically, let me just try to. Okay, so here is the app. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, or if it's the screen is flickering. Hopefully the screen should not flicker. Okay, yeah, that should be good. All right, so this app basically, it kind of gives you like this easy way of trying to find out the verbs. Now, although this hasn't covered all the verbs, it's still, something that's requires some work. But so, for example, like in the top here, right over here, you put in, let's say, for example, a verb you're looking for. So waqata, yeah. So it tells you, okay, waqata. It's only got the lazim form for it. It doesn't have the mazid form for it. Although there is a mazid form, but the app hasn't really updated so far for that. So if you just press the plus button, it goes down. It shows you the lazim and says to you, okay, right, you've got over here, let's go to the madi, past, waqata, waqatu, waqati, and then it goes all the way down, waqatna, right, because the Arabic sort of pronunciation as well. And then you've got the sigha mudari. So in mudari one, you got marfu sigha, yaqitu, yaqitani. See the drop of the waw. The waw's dropped off. So instead of yawqitu, yaqitu, yaqitani, yaqituna, taqitu, taqitani, yaqitna. Taqitu, taqitani, taqituna, taqitina, taqitani, taqitna, aqitu, naqitu. And you see, it's got over here mansoob, it's got majzoom, and it's, yes, marfu, mansoob, majroom. that's something we haven't done yet, but this is simply just to talk about certain sort of like external factors that can have an effect on the verbs, right? So we're not dealing with that because in Sarf we just deal at the moment with the internal factors, right? Then it's got like mu'akkad, emphatic, it's got amr, it's got like a command, qit, qita, qitu, and then it's got like mu'akkad command, qit, qitanna, qitani, etc. So, you know, you can have like I'll go at these. So actually, it does it have some here, yeah? Let me just have a check. Yeah, so it's got like some waqatahu. It's got like added onto a pronoun. So I think that's what Bab 1 is nothing there. Bab 2 is pronoun added. Bab 3 is pronoun present or pronoun which is second person. Yeah. Okay, so it's got various different pronouns. So these are not really what we're sort of looking into. What we want to focus on is Bab 1. Waqata. Yeah. Waqata, waqata, waqatu. Yaqitu, yaqitani, yaqituna, and so forth. Again, you can have a go at this. You can play around with this, test different ones. So for example, you might want to say, okay, so you see over here, it's already got some list that is brought up. Wadama, wadana, right? And it's got lazim. Then this is wadaba, wada'a. Yeah, so all these are lazim ones. So you've got any muta'addi ones. And muta'addi has got wadaha. Well, that's straightforward. It's not really too difficult. Let's click on that, and that's what we expected. Waddahna. Yeah, so the madi be waddaha, waddaha, waddahu, waddahat, waddahata. Right, so that's not something which we're kind of like looking into. Yeah, so you can have a go at ajwaf as well. We've done ajwaf. So for example, like you want to look for khafa. Yeah, it says, we got khafa, okay. Has it got muta'addi? It's khafata, that is different, that is. So we want to look at this one. So it tells you, okay, khafa was frightened, khafa, both are frightened, khafu, khafat, khafata. And then it tells you in the mudari form, what is it? Yakhafu. Yeah, and you can see that change has taken place. Originally it was khawifa, yakhwafu, and we did all of this. All right, so again, this is something which you guys can practice. This is the app. I'll leave a link to the app. It's not. I don't think it's available on Apple. I'm not too sure, but it's available on Android. So, you know, like me, you guys should shift over to Android. Yeah, make your lives a bit more easier. And there you go. So this is the app that you can try. Now let me get the Quran and let's have a go at some words in the Quran. Okay, all right, let's have a go at this. Let's see if we can. Okay, so here we have, let's start from somewhere in the beginning. Okay, so أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So he says, الذين ينقضون عهد الله. الذين ينقضون. This is from the verb نقض ينقض. So this is straightforward. A present verb, plural, masculine, they, third person. ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه. يقطعون, same thing, but this is from فتح يفتح. قطع يقطع. يقطعون, they, plural, third person, masculine. ما أمر الله به. أمر يأمر. Yeah, this is from past verb of أمر يأمر. It's got hamza at the beginning. به أن يوصل. Now this is a majhul verb. So we haven't done majhul verbs as yet, but we will be covering majhul verbs. Don't worry about that. So this actually is from Mithal, but it's a present majhul verb. So that's something that we'll be doing later. Okay. وَيُفْسِدُونَ أَفْسَدَ يُفْسِدُ إِفْسَادِ. This is from Bab إفعال. Yeah, so you got يُفْسِدُونَ there. فِي الْأَرْضِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Alright, so these are some of the verbs that we have over here. What you need to do is you need to try and figure out how you are going to break down these verbs. Right? And One thing you can do, if I show you in the phone again, I can show you an app, right? And this is an app that I use as well. So if I put this to the side, this is an app that I use. Again, I'll put the link of this in below. So what basically you can do is, if you like, let's say you're looking for a word or something. Let's say, for instance, you're looking for waqara. Yeah. So actually, there's no verbs here. But okay, let's just take a passage there. You go to ulum, and then you go to tahleel kalimat al-Quran. Tahleel kalimat al-Quran. Now, if you have a look at this, right? Let me just see if it's visible to you guys. Okay, so it should be clear. So it kind of shows you like some of these words over here. It will show you some of these words. It will say, for instance, like, okay, yastami'u. This is fi'l mudari min mazid al-khumasi. It's a mazid and it's got 5 letters in there. Ifta'ala, origin from the ifta'ala pattern. And its original letters are sami'a. Right, and it's the ghaib, third person, mudhakkar, masculine, mufrad, singular, marfu, in the rafa state. Yastami'u. Right, and then you can go to, like, let's look for yafqahu. It's okay, it's a fi'l mudari, thulathi, mujarrad, and it's from the root letters faquha or faqiha. Ghaib, third person, mudhakkar, masculine, jama, mansub. Yafqahuna, right, because the word in the Quran was yafqahuna. Okay, yafqahuhu. Now the noon's dropped off over here. This is what I was talking about earlier on, where I told you an external factor can actually have an effect on some of the verbs. This is what we call jazm. And then you can go down and you can say, okay, let's look for another. Right, you got yaqulu over here. Yaqulu is a fi'l mudari thulathi mujarrad from the root letters qawl. Yeah, ghaib, third person, mudhakkar, mufrad, marfu. And so forth. So you can have a go at this, right? Try this app. It's a really useful app, I would say. And just play around with it until you guys get the hang of it. So as I said, have a go at this. Try your best, inshallah, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out my videos, my patrons. I really appreciate all of you guys. You guys are wonderful people. Allah bless all of you for all of the support that you show my channel. I make a sadaqah jari for all you guys. Any one of you guys who want to become a patron and support my work that I do, I really appreciate it. Details are in the comments below. And I'll also start putting in the description below all the equipment that I use. If anyone else wants to start maybe a YouTube channel or anything similar and wants to know what kind of equipment is the best equipment to get from my own personal experience, I'll put it in the comments below, inshallah, for you guys to check out. And take care, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair, guys, for all of your support. Without your support, I wouldn't have been able to produce the videos that I've put up on my YouTube channel. And there is so much more that I really want to do. And without the support of you guys who are patrons, generously supporting this channel, I've been able to get myself a camera, which, as you guys can see, the quality of this camera, a mic system, software. I've been able to hire an editor. So what do I want to do? I want to make lots and lots of more videos for beginners, for intermediate, advanced in the subjects like Arabic and fiqh and hadith and tafsir and aqidah and all those other things as well. And for this to happen, again, this channel needs support. So if you guys want to become patrons and support this channel, then check out the link below. Also, if you do become patrons, you'll have access to videos that I don't put up on my normal YouTube channel. So check that out, inshallah. And there's most other perks as well that you guys can benefit from. And if you want to access this channel through social media, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, Facebook page, and other things as well that you can visit. So Jazakumullah khair again, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair for watching this video. I hope to see all of you guys. If you guys are interested, please leave us feedback, get in contact with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.